55 years of abortion and 10 million lives have been lost. Earlier this month was the 55th anniversary of the passing of the 1967 Abortion Act. The group took up the entire perimeter of Parliament Square in silent witness, with MPs and other politicians and journalists stopping to engage and ask questions. Grady, from a Christian perspective, why is it important that Christians standing up against abortion, and why Christians are pro-life?
The Bible tells us that God is pro-life. We are made in the image of God, and to abort a baby is to abort something made in the image of God. Humans are the only thing that qualifies in that regard. I would also point out the great tragedy both in the UK and in the USA. In the UK, yes, you have aborted 10 million babies, but again, the number has to be perhaps multiplied by 5 or 6, simply for all of the offspring that would have come from those. But think about how it affects the economy. Think about how it affects the psychological and the physical aspects of the women who have aborted babies, because abortions do, we know scientifically, cause problems for future pregnancies that might be wanted. In addition to the psychological problems. I would also point out that in the United States, we are far worse in terms of numbers. We have abort or do abort about 4 times as many as you do per year. It depends on your definitions, medical definitions of this. The sad story is that while we are aborting 4 times what you are in the UK, when it comes to looking at the per capita ratios of populations, you're aborting 20% more than we are on a per capita basis.
Why is that, Brady?
It all starts with the acceptance of evolution. After all, if evolution says that we are nothing but thinking animals, what happens if you have a litter of kittens that you don't want, or a litter of puppies? You stick them in a bag and you throw them in the Thames. If people are going to treat human life that way, that human life has no value, even your own offspring, then people, of course, are going to commit murder of all kinds. So we find this in the sense that evolution is the foundation of homicide, suicide, euthanasia, abortion, and the justification is that people are nothing but thinking animals, that they're not made in the image of God, that there are no laws, rules, roles, standards of conduct for us, and that people are simply no more valuable than a tree. Now, if you take that view, that's why you're going to have school violence. That's why you're going to have violence in the streets when people think that evolution is true. That if evolution is true, then they can do the same thing. After all, if I'm superior to you, then I would have a right to blow you away. Well, in the same sense of it, if babies are simply inconvenient, I mean, then what happens? A society that is truly, well, degrading is one who no longer values human life, and where abortion has become the accepted form of contraception because it's an easy out.